Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, please remain seated and keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. My name is Sam Rothenberger, and this is my co-host Calvin Higgins, and today we will be discussing America's 250th birthday as it pertains to education. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Welcome to Choice Men.
Wow, what an intro, baby. Woo! I mean, come for the intros, stay for the content. Is that our new tagline?
That could be our new tagline.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, welcome back, guys. As Sam just said, yeah, we're going to be talking about America's 250th birthday and more from an angle of education. And this will be part of our summer student series. Now, I was looking back last night because I was like, I felt like we talked about this a while ago about having this series. Well, we did talk about it a while ago. Part of the problem is then I was gone, and then we couldn't get together, and then I was gone again or whatever, and then we got back again, but by that time it was 4th of July. In between the 4th of July and now, I celebrated my 1-year anniversary. Yeah, with the next day after July 4th. So that was great. And then it's just been real special. So we're going to get back to it. Hopefully, so this, if we're counting from here as one, the second episode will be recorded today. And then the third episode, like in terms of just from like starting right now, that third episode, that should be interview style. We do want to have some students on, some teachers on, get some different perspectives, because we could kind of exhaust some of the stuff we want to talk about just us talking. But so today we thought we'd hit, obviously, because again, 250th birthday, we mentioned that a little bit in the 4th of July episode, but I think this one still fits with the student summer series where, you know, our students, you know, as students, we're done in the summertime. What it looks like is, all right, we're done with school. Now I can do other fun stuff. I mean, that is kind of true. That is partially true. And I think for a lot of students, learning kind of gets put on hold until the next, time for school to start comes around, and then it's kind of a rough entry back into school. I'm saying that from personal experience. There have definitely been years where it's been tough to get back into the swing of things because you just go from 100 miles an hour of school to like 0 wanting to learn. We're not saying keep it at 100, like you shouldn't be continuing to do that kind of amount of school in the summer, probably. Like you should get out and do some other things. But on the other hand, you should also be learning still. So I think that includes reading. I think that includes some amount of critical thinking times. So if you live in a household like I lived in where we did a lot of, playful arguing with each other on the dinner table, you maintain some of that ability. So like none of the Higgins have ever come back to school going, I don't know how to argue anymore. We maintained that. But like, how do we maintain that? Well, because we were practicing every day, not necessarily in the words of practicing, but it was happening. And so that ended up being practice. So like impromptus, I think that's a thing the teachers have been working on more, during the school year, is getting kids more reps earlier with impromptus. So then for the rhetoric tournament, they don't feel like they're going to cry or they're going to throw up as a 7th grader when they're, doing impromptus. So like impromptus is kind of a good way to even practice your writing in the summer. Not that you have to do it every day, but like, I don't know, once every 2 weeks, once every week. The summer's pretty short. So like if you're paying attention at home, if a month, let's say that a month is actually 5 weeks. It's not actually 5 weeks, but it's also not actually 4. It's in between. But we'll say it's 5. I'll be generous with you. let's say it's 5 and there's 3 months of summer, you got 15 weeks. That's not a lot. It's not actually a lot of time. It goes by really fast because also there's just events every week. It's fun stuff to do, places to go, vacations to have.
Yeah.
But does that mean your learning needs to stop? No. So in terms of trying to pair that with America's 250th birthday, well, we got to go back and look at the founders. We got to go back and look at what made our country work, what started our country. And I think one of the best things to think about is the fact that we did not just immediately start fighting.
Right.
It wasn't like, oh, we just woke up one day and chose violence. We petitioned. We did not petition.
As opposed to all the Ford commercials.
Yeah. But like men petitioned the king to lower the taxes. Like, hey, what is this? Like, this is crazy. And also then it was kind of like, hey, why it's no taxation without representation. So like, well, if you're going to tax us, we at least like could know about it. Like we could be there. There should be some kind of agreement on this, and that was not appreciated. And I mean, obviously, lots of other stuff happened too. But there were things written, and there were words spoken, and there was not just violent action taken from the beginning. Like we watched Young Washington last night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, how was it?
It was good. It was. I mean, it did. I mean, it was 2 hours long. It did kind of make you like, kind of wish there was more.
Okay.
Because it really is. It's like I think it's 1 year.
Okay.
George Washington. I mean, 1 year at most.
Mm-hmm.
No, 2 years. 2 years at most. But I mean, yeah, it was good. There were some good lines. I think two of the best lines, and I think these are actually from like his writing or from some account, but a pawn can take a king. That's a good one to remember. And then imitating great men doesn't make you a great man.
Mm.
I think I audibly went in the movie theater. That was a good one. There's another good line. Now, because on Spotify it asks you, is this 18 plus content? And I tell it no every time. I will change the word, even though I personally wouldn't have a problem with saying this, other than the fact that I would have to change it for the podcast. But I'll use the word dang, D-A-N-G. But at one point, a soldier, one of the militia guys, he's shooting his gun and it stops working, and he's like, "Dang British guns." I was like, "Oh, catching strays here. Oof, that's brutal." That was pretty funny. I don't know if that's like some written down thing. Probably not.
Probably
that was probably a movie, but that was good.
I feel like back in that point, they were all just kind of like a gun's a gun,
Yeah.
unless it was like actually had rifling in the barrel.
Yeah, that was a big deal. Boy, whoever created rifling, thank you. I know you're not alive anymore, but God bless you. Yeah, so I mean, it was good. I do think, though, again, kind of back to what we're talking about, like George Washington was not actually that educated.
Right.
That's
I mean,
actually-
he was the kind of guy that could lead you in battle, and then he was the kind of guy that could lead you outside of battle.
Well, and he could write very well, and he wrote a lot, especially as a young man,
Mhm.
but he was not, especially, and that was part of the problem, is he wanted a royal commission. So he wanted to be a gentleman of England, and the guy that he kept coming to was like, "No, you're the one who keeps writing me all these letters. Stop." And he's like, because he had, like, Washington had collected some stuff that he had read from some places, but he was more self-educated. But that was the point, is he was still smart,
Mhm.
and he wasn't perfect. I mean, that is part of the thing in Young Washington is you do get to see a pretty large failure that sets him back, but then it is kind of the overcoming of that.
Wasn't he also a geographer when he was younger? Or I can't remember.
You mean a surveyor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was a surveyor all the way up till he died, I think. Because, like, he surveyed his own property. Which, by the way, that was pretty cool. So because I got to go to Mount Vernon with the school for the East Coast trip. If you go to Mount Vernon, there's maps there that he made. Like, that is dope. That's the kind of thing where it's like, I should learn how to survey my own land if I had land. He's got, at that point, it was like 8,000 acres or whatever. So
Oh my goodness.
that's different. I will say, last night, I was a little caught off guard because one of the guys that he's talking to says, yeah, I've got like 5 million acres. And I was like, whoa, hold on now. How big is 5 million acres? Look it up. It's ridiculous. It would take 3.8 million U.S. football fields
Holy smokes.
to cover 5 million acres. It's the size of Norway. 5 million acres. There is a national park in the U.S. that is 6 million acres, Denali National Park. But like Yellowstone is 2 million acres.
Yeah.
5 million acres. That's crazy. And obviously at that point it had never been surveyed, so that's
Right.
where Washington went, but it was in Ohio, and the French were there, the Indians were there,
Of course.
whatever. Anyways, the point being though, even though George didn't have a formal education, he got educated.
Mhm.
And you can self-educate because it's not the point about, and this is a thing our teachers talk a lot about, or we try to talk a lot about, is we don't want to tell you what to think. We do want to teach you how to think. And that's a big difference from the public school system where
They do tell you what to think.
they tell you what to think, they don't actually teach you how to think, and so then you end up lost later going, what am I supposed to think about this? So then, and
This doesn't apply to anything. Yeah.
right, well, and when you end up then looking at the bigger system, if we just took the whole world is against you, you can actually get pretty far with that conspiracy theory, like everything in the U.S. is against you. That's not actually true. But if you start with the public school system, we're going to tell you what to think. Okay, you graduated. Now you're going to pay us. So, because here's the thing, public school is free.
Right.
It's not free? College. So what we're going to do is we're going to charge you $100,000 at a lot of these places for you to come learn what to think.
And make sure you don't get a house later.
Yeah. Then you'd be in debt for usually a long time because it's not. So like doctors, that's different, but like they're going into like crazy amounts of debt, and then hypothetically you might make enough money as a doctor to pay off that debt. But you're not doing anything fun in between there. Like
Right.
you're gonna have serious debt. So
I like Jim Gaffigan's bit on brain surgery. He's like, at not one point in his day could he say, well, at least it ain't brain surgery. Because it's always brain surgery.
gotta be paying attention, I guess, if you're doing brain surgery all the time. But like, great. So we're gonna take your money. You're gonna be in debt. You still don't know how to think. You still only know what to think because that's what we told you at college. And then, okay, now you're out of school. You're doing whatever you're doing. Well, the hiring culture still in America of most of these, if it's a place that hasn't really adapted, it is still well, let me see your piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
That's still saying, let me tell you what to think. What to think is, show me your piece of paper. Did you go to a place where people told you what to think? Okay, give me your piece of paper. All right. Social media. What is social media? It's feeding you what to think. This is what the news is doing too. So all if you look at it, it is a big system. There is a system where you get told what to think, you get programmed to look for this is what you're supposed to think. You look for things that are labeled, here's what to think, here's what you should do. Mm-hmm. And so then it just becomes you listen to whoever tells you, here's what you should think.
Your college degree will get you a job, but your college degree won't keep you that job.
Yeah. Well, and also, will it get you the job?
Maybe sometimes.
Maybe. But like, if you're, if the hiring person at least still cares about quality of work, well, do you suck at your job? Like, are you actually not good at it, even though you have the piece of paper? Because that's the other thing is like, well, you can get a piece of paper and not do a whole lot of work to actually know how to do that.
Right.
Just to get the piece of paper. I mean, it is, so like, if you don't take driver's ed, not that Sam would do that.
I would never not take it. Wait.
Yeah. But let's say you don't take driver's ed, you wait till you're 18 and you get your license. Obviously, if you're a great driver, well, that's great. But why didn't you do it earlier? I don't know.
Money.
That's a legitimate reason. That is a legitimate reason. Let's say, though, you wait and you're not a good driver and you waited till 18. Here's the thing. They don't make you go through driver's ed at that point. Mm-hmm. So we're just giving licenses to people. This is my gripe. If
granted, you do have to pass the test, but
true,
you can pass those tests at like an 80 maybe is the minimum score. Yeah.
It's a B. You can get a B and you can pass. I mean, this is the problem with our roads.
I got a 95 just because I got one little thing wrong.
Yeah, see, because he's a good driver. This is my point though. Here's the thing. If I'm 18, okay, this has been my age problem for a long time. When I turning 16, everything in between now, in between 16 and 21, that's ridiculous. Turning 16 was awesome. You get to drive. That honestly, that was great. Didn't we talk about this last week? We had to have talked about this. I think.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Okay, but here's my gripe. If we're just giving licenses away, basically, when you turn 18, and I'm allowed to adopt a child, and I can then just drive a car after passing one test, why can't I own a gun?
Well, yeah, and here's the crazy part. So yeah, you can drive a car, you can adopt a kid, and you can vote on laws.
Yeah, I can vote on laws to change the age that I could buy a gun.
You can't also drink alcohol yet.
And I can't drink alcohol yet. That is ridiculous. But that is a system.
If you're going to make an 18-year-old a full citizen with voting rights and everything.
Yeah. Give me the rights of the citizens to protect my family, me, like me, myself, and I. That is like, if you go to court, if you had to use your weapon to protect the innocent, you won't say that in court. You're going to say, well, I used it for self-defense.
Right.
Because technically, it's not your job. Like, legally, it's not your job to protect the innocent. It's your duty to protect the innocent. It's your American duty to protect the innocent. I can't believe that you can't say that in a court. But it's pretty crazy. Anyways, this is the point. The educated are the ones who, and this is where I think we got to be careful, but the educated are the ones who do challenge the system in an acceptable manner,
right?
Or at least we should be. Do we do that always? No. Do we do it a lot? Like, have educated people really been annoying about those things? Yes. So we can obviously do a better job than what we've done, but if you are taught how to think, that means we're going to have different opinions on things if we both know how to think. Mm-hmm. Eventually, though, we should come to the same truths. So this is why the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights This is why those things exist. Those guys knew how to think. Nobody told them what to think. In fact, one could argue that the king was kind of telling them what to think.
Yeah.
And they said, I don't think so, man, actually.
If they were told what to think and they believed that, they wouldn't have petitioned him and gone against Parliament.
Yeah. I mean, and actually in Young Washington, he's talking to his brother and who's older than him. And he's like, George, you can't change. And at that point, the guy's like, come down with the consumption.
That's rough.
He ain't doing too hot. And I don't really think that's a spoiler.
That's probably just a historical fact.
Yeah. It's a historical movie, people. Come on. Okay, have you heard Nate Bargatze's bit on history?
Mm-mm.
He's like, I was never really good with history. And he's like, and the reason I know that is he's like, anytime I watch a history movie, I'm shocked every time. He's like, I am on the edge of my seat. I don't know what's going to happen. He's like, I watched Pearl Harbor. I was just as shocked as they were. You're like, whoa. That's pretty funny.
Oh, shoot.
But it is funny, like, when you're watching, like, what's going to happen? I'm like, well, here's the thing. Because, like, when it's like, oh, no, George is having problems, it's like, well, at least we know he lives.
Well,
so the movie can't end here. He's not going to die. Like, that helps. But.
Also, yeah, because, I mean, when you do older TV shows like that, but there's also, but that's why, like, certain movies you can get away with, like, oh, yeah, this is a historical, slightly fictional movie, but it's a historical piece that not a lot of people know. So like Ford versus Ferrari, not a lot of people actually know the outcome of that story before they watch that movie. And then they watch the movie and they go look up the historical facts of like, okay, how much of that movie is accurate?
Well, I mean, I was looking up things last night. So, this is a spoiler. Maybe. Spoiler alert. But it is a historical fact. So maybe you've read it somewhere already, and I'll just bring it to the front of your mind. So when George goes to, because he basically gets commissioned by this guy to go survey his 5 million acres. And, which, by the way, that's crazy. Him and his friend go. Okay. And they end up trying to get home faster by taking the river. But it's the dead of winter. And so the river's very cold.
I read a book about this.
Yeah, the river's very cold. And they make like a raft and they're trying to get down the river. And the guy's like, is this the fastest way to get home? Are you sure about this? He's like, it'll save 2 days. Okay, well, they fell into the water. It's not good when you fall into what is essentially frozen water. It's not actually frozen, but it's right there. And then you have to get out of said water in your clothes with no fire, and you're probably going to die. So they're laying there together, huddled, basically frozen. And George wakes up because he can hear the ice freezing. Because it sends the through the stuff. Because they end up on like this little island in the middle of the river. So they would have to swim back across. They would die if they did that. The river freezes and they just walk across it. What a miracle. That's crazy. Yeah, that's bonkers. Well, how did we get to that? Now I'm realizing, why did I say that story? Historical facts. Yeah, and I was like, wait a second. Is that can't be real. And then I was like, wait a second. Why would they put that in the movie?
If it was.
If that wasn't real. Because that's like really a weird thing to come up with. Like, why is it? It's totally real. Totally happened. That is crazy. Basically just be caught 100% dead.
Right.
And then, the water froze. We'll just walk across.
And this is the thing, because like a lot of some historical facts are just like, no, that's that is crap. That is not
George
real.
Washington didn't cut down a cherry tree. No.
But like, yeah, it was like certain like, okay, sure, there's this random bullet that just somehow flew across the field and hit the Civil War general in the back of the head, and now he's dead. And that changes like a decent portion of, well, I don't think it was a general, but maybe it was. But they were retreating, and he was on his horse, riding. That's hard to hit.
Mm.
And a stray musket ball from, really far away just nails him in the base of the head. He's gone.
Wasn't it King Ahab who got, literally just a random arrow?
Yeah. Because
Hit him in between his armor, and
because he also was dressed up not in his own armor.
Yeah. And then you're like, wait a second, the hand of God.
Yeah.
Yes, that adds some. Well, because the story of Washington with when they're fighting the Indians, and when they're fighting the French and Indians in like this particular time,
Yeah.
he literally stands up and his gun doesn't work, and there's 3 Indians who have they're not, their chief says they never miss.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 of them miss him, and they end up. Then obviously once that little bit of the battle is done, they end up bringing George to that chief, and they end up talking, and he's asking him questions like, "How is that possible?" Because in Indian culture they have the idea, like a spirit of protection over the chosen one. And so to them, it was like, you've been chosen.
You've been chosen.
Because my guys don't miss. Hey, that's crazy. Obviously, we know.
Yeah.
We know why that is. But again, it's kind of hard. Like, to me, it is kind of it's a feeling. It's not just a feeling, but to me, it kind of comes across as a feeling where it's like, there is no really good way to tell you how much America would be benefited by a surplus of people who know how to think.
Mm-hmm.
That does not mean we're all going to be in agreement.
Right.
Agreement is not the point. Checks and balances could also just be knowing how to think. You could just say that. So knowing how to think means things might take a little longer for some stuff.
Yeah. Anti-federalists and the Federalists.
Yeah.
They argued for a long time before they finally came to terms.
They're kind
mostly.
of still arguing to some extent. But the idea about the power, the governmental power being spread so thin across the 50 states. You've got governors, you've got mayors, you've got city council members, we've got senators, we've got a president, we've got the Supreme Court. The reason why it's all spread that far is because people are supposed to know how to think, not what to think. If it was all just what to think, we would only have the federal government. The reason we have a local government is for the very reason of us knowing what to think means we are probably eventually going to disagree with what the federal government has to say. And the federal government is probably going to have its own ideas because they should also know how to think.
Right.
But this means that there should be good conversation, not riots. Peaceful protesting. The peaceful protesting is called arguing. Arguing is not quarreling. That's a good thing to clarify. Like, there should be good arguments, there should be good ideas exchanged, and people should still be in fellowship over that. But like, I can disagree with Sam and still be in fellowship with him, and that's not a problem. Like, we can disagree that SIG is a good pistol brand. But that's fine. He is.
Put your hate in the comments, people. I hear it.
Yeah,
I hear it.
I can feel it already through the camera, and I love it because I also hate it. No, but seriously though, that is there. Because what were we just watching? I can't remember, but somebody was talking about it's a disgrace to put the French Revolution and the American Revolution in the same sentence, unless you're saying that they're completely different, because one was anarchy.
Yeah.
And maybe you said that.
I said something about that last episode, but it wasn't exactly that.
Yeah. But I mean, one of those was an educated. Hey, I disagree with that.
Mhm.
The other one was, I disagree with that. Straight anarchy.
Yeah.
Well, one of those is a better plan than the other one. Also, one of those worked better than the other one.
Right.
So,
Which country is better off now?
ooh. Well, you know what? The French would probably still say,
I mean, they
I don't
might-
know. Hey, French listeners, if we have French listeners, is your country better off or is America better off? No,
I mean, they do have a shot to win the World Cup. So
that's what it all comes down to.
apparently,
Now they probably don't have SIG in France, so they actually might be better
yeah.
off.
Maybe.
Might. They probably have some French pistol brand.
Oh man.
Pistol.
Actually, Belgium, which is not, is that that's not technically France. It's a different country, but it's very similar in some cases.
Guys, we should know this.
Fairly certain it's a different country.
Yeah, it's its own.
How close to France is it? Because I am horrible.
It's a French speaking. Oh wait. Okay, so the country has distinctive regions including Dutch speaking Flanders to the north, French speaking Wallonia to the south, and German speaking community to the east.
They're kind of surrounded by all those countries.
Yeah, the bilingual capital, Brussels, has ornate guild halls at Grand Place and elegant art nouveau.
Duh, because they're surrounded by France, Germany, and the Netherlands.
That's so weird. Why would they not just be?
I don't know. But Belgium makes some very interesting guns. There are a lot of crazy Belgian guns. They're nuts. And some of them are actually amazing, but some of them are very weird. Yeah, I mean, Belgium just took the German flag and turned it on its side.
That's brutal. Belgium was invaded and occupied by Germany in both World War I and World War II.
Yeah, I mean, they're right there, so.
Yeah, that's kind of rough.
Yeah.
Well,
Belgium.
wow.
Amazing waffles.
Belgium was a founding member of the EU and NATO.
Really?
Interesting. Probably because they were like, hey, Germany, leave us alone.
We don't want to be invaded again.
Yeah. That's funny. So anyways, point being of this episode, it's the summertime. That's true. That does not mean learning is done. That means school is done for right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a break, and you should get some rest, and you should enjoy your time outside, and you should have lots of fun. But you should also remember, at some point, you're going to be an adult who has a job, who doesn't have summer break.
Yeah.
That was really weird for me. When Hallie and Keela would like text me when the first year that I went to work in the summer, they would text me like, "What are you doing later? I'm going to work. What are you doing?" And they're like, "Oh, we don't know. Just do whatever." Because like again, it's you've got the summer breaks. Like use your summer break, but like eventually you're not going to have summer break, and you're going to have to do work all the time.
Right.
But that means you're going to need to still be able to learn all the time. You need to know how to think, which means you need to keep exercising that capability. That is one of the biggest freedoms we have here is education. So it's still legal to do education outside of the public school system, whether that's homeschooling, private schooling, homeschool co-oping, whatever. That you're free to do that. It's still free. It's not free monetarily, obviously, to do public school, but it is your right to get educated and to know how to think. So keep learning how to think. So it's America's 250th birthday. We've had 250 years of learning. Don't stop this summer. Keep learning. Keep going. Keep working on it. And that's what's going to protect what we have right now in America, and that's what's going to keep making it better. So we don't actually want to go back to the glory days. That's not real. We need to do what's best for us now. We're in a different spot. If we went back to what it was like in 1776, that would be bad. That would not be good. There are a lot of good things that have happened since then. There are also a lot of bad things that have happened since then. The people that are like, we should go back to the 1950s. No. Mm-mm.
Go back to prohibition.
Yeah, we should not go back to the 1950s. So this is like there's an idea that the nuclear family should go back to the 1950s style. Are you kidding me? That's horrible. That's a plateau. If we go back to that, so if we look at the rise of men and families, well, 1950s is like a plateau in the middle. It's like we're going.
It starts dropping off.
Right? Yeah, there's actually a lot more to do than that, and better ways to treat people. So, I mean, you can ask people who were around in the 50s if that would be a good idea or not, and they'll tell you. No, that's not actually the. Well, I mean, probably some of them would tell you, but that's not actually the way to go. So again, learn how to think. Don't stop learning, even though it's the summer. Keep learning. All that to say, America's great. Yeah,
It could be better.
but it could be better. It's true. All right, Sam.
Yeah.
Dad advice.
Dad advice.
While Sam's thinking about this, shout out and thank you to Sean Higgins. It's my dad. Letting us use the office, of which I have my own keys now. So
It's an epic setup for all the books.
it is a lot of material. This is a lot of educational material right here,
Yeah.
all around here. So way to go, Dad. Way to be learning how to think.
Mm-hmm. Make sure your kids, like if you ever see them struggling or kind of just sitting around during a summertime deal,
What's the summertime deal?
summertime, I mean, just kind of like it's like a nice weekend that they could be spending outside, or maybe all their friends are gone that day and they can't play outside.
My friends aren't here.
Like, I don't know, give them a book, send them outside, do some garden work, or figure out something that they can self-regulate their discipline of doing something in their spare time. Maybe it is something that they do with you if you have time to do something with them. Maybe it's have them do something that they can figure out by themselves.
Like
But
rebuilding a transmission.
yeah. Funny story about that. It's not really a transmission, but
Is it when you took apart the dash?
yeah,
That was funny.
that was really funny.
I remember getting pictures of that. And I'm like, wow. Like literally just the entire interior of the car
Yeah.
in the front is gone.
Yeah.
Just nothing is there
For
anymore.
those who don't know, my dad at one point gave me a job to do for a summer project because I didn't have a job at that point. He's like, my Jetta's heater core has gone out. The AC or the heat doesn't work and everything. And it starts like you can kind of smell fumes coming through the fan. So he's like, hey, we need to get that fixed. And so we were watching a bunch of YouTube videos. It took me maybe 3 weeks to do this dashboard because the heater core is inside the engine bay, but there's a whole like wall there separating the engine bay from the actual
The firewall.
like the compartment with all the people and the chairs. But
The compartment with all the
But
people in the chairs, like that's
so
some other
many-
part of the car.
yeah,
That is the car.
so many pieces of the heater core go through that wall that you need to like get there on both sides, that you need to take out. So you have to take out basically the entire dashboard. You have to take out the entire crash bar, pull it all the way out. everything basically.
Not that I would ever hate on German engineering,
And then
because most of the time it's really good, but that's a horrible
yeah,
design.
yeah, typically that's like crazy though. But
Yeah.
I mean, how often does your heater core go out?
Good question. How often does it?
I don't know. Because right after I fixed it, it was like 3 weeks, and we took it to one of Taylor's friends to switch out engine parts with Taylor's car, and that car was gutted. So we didn't have to have the heater core removed, replaced. It was okay. It was a good
It's the kind of thing that builds character.
summertime filler right there. It's something that I do need because I also don't know a ton about engines. So I got to take apart a lot of wiring, a lot of car parts in a, what was that? Was that a 2000 Jetta?
Mm.
It was like the classic Jetta look that you see, like a slightly more boxy one, not the rounded one we got now these days. But yeah, these days,
Well,
the glory days.
good dad advice, make your kids do stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he just said. It's a good idea. I second that. Well, thanks for joining us. If you made it this far, catch you guys next time.
Choice Man signing out.
Peace.